It's time for the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Now, here's John Truman Wolfe.
Hi folks, John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Hope your day is going great. Broadcasting from the gorgeous mountains in the Los Padres National Forest north of Los Angeles. It's a beautiful day up here. The heat's tempered down a little bit and it's gorgeous. Let me run through the day's financial stats, and today, folks, we're going to talk politics. Our guest, Mike Netter, who will be joining us very shortly, and we're going to talk about recalling this governor, so stay with us. To recap today's financial numbers, the Dow, 34,196, up 322. Dow had an up day. It's been churning there in that area, 34, 35, 33. So today up 322. The S&P, 4266, up 24. NASDAQ 14,369, up 98. So the equities had a good day. The precious metals still, what's the best adjective? Struggling, I guess. Gold 1775, off a few bucks, $3.50. It was trading not that long ago, having broken out and in the low 1900s, and then hammered. Probably by your friends at J.P. Morgan Chase, because those lawsuits about J.P. Morgan manipulating the precious metals markets still going on. I mean, you can put that into Mr. Google or whomever you use as your search engine and read up on it. Silver 2602, up a few cents. Silver has held its ground much stronger than gold. I love silver. I'm in love with silver. I mean, I think this is a great buy. I think this is nothing more than a pause in the ongoing bull market in silver. I think that run is going to be strong, very strong. Okay, over to the cryptos, which have also had a rough week, a very rough week. Bitcoin up recently, and by that I mean the last, 12, 14 hours, 34,645 for the crypto king, 34,645, up from trading in the 33s. Has been trading in the low 30s. For those of you that watch cryptos, you know that Bitcoin has been, hammered from when it was in the low 60s. I should have a date, but we're talking a couple of months ago. It actually almost touched 65,000, 64 and change, and then down. Ethereum, 1978. I think Ethereum is a super buy right now. You want a recommendation from John Truman Wolfe, buy some Ether. XRP down to 67 cents, well off its highs around $1.50. So if you're a real crypto person, now is some time to buy. All right, folks, I'm John Truman Wolfe, John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're going to be back shortly, talk to Mike Netter from the Recall Gavin Newsom website. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're talking politics today, folks. With us, Mike Netter from the Recall. Let me get the website correct, Mike. It's recallgavin2020.com, isn't it?
Absolutely. Recallgavin2020.com. And I want to start in the spirit of your show, if you don't mind, that the stock, with yesterday's announcement, the stock for Gavin Newsom is down, but the futures for the people of California are up.
Okay, it's a good metaphor. So you and I talked a couple of days ago, and I got a little bit educated. I had a misunderstanding in terms of how this election will go. Let's start, Mike, with that, if we can. Explain to people how this election is going to go, and what opportunities they have to vote for whom.
Yes, as we discussed, the recall elections don't take place very often in California, so they're misunderstood. The way the recall election works is this: all on one ballot. You will have the opportunity to vote, yes, I want to remove Gavin Newsom as governor. On the same ballot, there'll be a large slate of candidates, and you get to pick one as an alternative. And one of the things which gets misunderstood, it's not Gavin Newsom versus another candidate like you normally see in a race. It's really Gavin versus himself. He's not on the second part of the ballot. So if we have right now, I believe there's currently 47 people running. People go, oh my God. Look, the more people that run, the better. The majority of them will not get a significant portion of the votes, but the more their followings come out, their followings will certainly vote yes to remove Gavin. So it works in everybody's favor.
Right. So in order to get him recalled, there has to be, the first question is, do you want him recalled? The yeses have to be a preponderance over the noes. Do I understand right?
Correct. It's 50% plus one person, or polarity as they call it.
Okay. So assuming that occurs, and you vote yes, I want him recalled, then you have an opportunity to select someone else. Now, how does that, of the several dozen people that are running, is it just the biggest vote getter?
Correct. In other words, what's different about this election is, if let's say you have, let's just use an example here. We have 10 million people vote in this election, and 5 million plus one vote to get Gavin out. And the top vote getter in the second category gets 1 million votes, and the next person gets 999,000. That top vote getter becomes governor. So somebody could win with 20-30% of the vote. Important to us at recallgavin2020.com and to the people of California is we get Gavin out.
Right. Okay, good. And the 50% is of the 50% that vote. You need 50% plus one that cast a vote, right?
Correct. And that's absolutely. And that's one of the Democrats' biggest fears, oddly enough, because the people in California, which is over about 50% of the population, I'll go into those statistics later in the show, that are most ticked off, either because of schools, because of what he's done with the forests, unemployment, take your pick, will come out and vote. The complacent people that go, Gavin, he's all right. They're probably not going to be so stimulated to vote in a special election.
I struggle, and I'm probably a voice of one, a survey of one, but I struggle to get my head around what kind of constituency he has, besides his close advisors in his cabinet and so forth and so on, that there are people out there that love this guy as governor. I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, it's very interesting because, as you know, after we believe it was June 6th, when they said, okay, you have enough signatures for it to go to this 30-day period, Don Parada and Newsom's crew ran a big campaign to get people to withdraw signatures. And I want to go on record.
Really?
In all the press. Oh, yeah, big campaign. And they couldn't raise enough money for as big as they wanted because it was a separate campaign. Are you ready for this? And I'm sure many of your listeners know this. So out of 1,710,000 or so verified signatures, a whopping total of 43 people, not 430, not 43,000, 43 people across the state of California changed their mind. So there's at least 43 in California that like him. Maybe that's his immediate or extended family. I'm not sure.
That's new. That whole subject is news to me. I didn't know. I mean, once you cast your vote to have him recalled, if I understand what you're saying, then you can go back and go, yeah, I changed my mind.
It's interesting because the Newsom side, I want to tend not to say the Democratic side, but the legislative Newsom side, actually, to protect Josh Newman, which backfired on him, added that little clause in 2017. That did not exist in the Schwarzenegger years. It was added as they keep trying to change our election laws to shape it the way that they want to be. So there was a 30-day period, and that really didn't have us quivering too hard. But, after all that hullabaloo, a whopping 43 people with their signatures.
Well, I hadn't heard that before. I would consider that good news.
Well, unless you're Gavin.
That number to be good news. Well, Michael, let's talk a bit about why this guy should no longer be governor. And there are a lot of issues, and you kind of skimmed over a few of them, introducing another subject. But by survey or by your, you've been living in this world now for a couple of years or a year and a half or whatever it's been. What's the biggest objection to Gavin Newsom?
If you were to sum it up, Gavin Newsom is a bad leader making poor decisions, and we start at the top, with a lack of transparency and accountability. And the reason I want to start there, John, is because of this. Newsom's side is trying to speed up and get the election. They say, well, it could be October, November, but let's try to change the law so we can get it in September, and that's okay. And the reason for it is almost every week, Gavin Newsom supplies the public either with something he's done, something he's doing. Example, just yesterday, NPR came out with a report that said, and I'll probably get to this fully after the break here, but came out with a report that said Gavin Newsom actually lied in 2019, exaggerating by 690% the amount of forest that he told the California Bureau of Land Management to clear. And I tell you what, maybe after the break, if you don't mind, I'd like to go deeper into that. But there's a lot.
All right, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it when we come back, Mike. We're talking to Mike Netter from the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign. That's recallgavin2020.com. I'm John Truman Wolfe, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ganapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master plan destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ganapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ganapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit GanapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here with John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're talking to Mike Nitter from the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign, recallgavin2020.com. And as we cut away to the break, Mike was talking about, we were talking about reasons to throw the guy out, to be blunt, and he was talking about some misinformation that came from the governor regarding the forests. Mike, what was that?
Yeah, it's fascinating. Even before COVID started, and again, we started this before COVID came along, and COVID just kind of accelerated the cycle of ineptness with this governor, who is really just one of the political elite. To give you an example of his arrogance and eliteness, which started this from the moment he went in office, just yesterday, NPR Cap Radio, Scott Rod, put out another revealing article about Newsom, which, by the way, is not a rumor, has been verified. But I believe it was in January of 2019, as Newsom went to office, he stated, "Stopping the fires, which devastate California, is one of the main things I want to do." At the same time he was doing that, he cut the California Bureau of Land Management's budget by $150 million, but wait, there's more. He said, out of 35 current projects, we've got them about 100% complete. The reality is that came out yesterday is verified by the California Bureau of Land Management. Out of all the acreage he talked about, only one was actually done. He exaggerated from his own lips by 690%. Get your arms around that. The amount of acreage which was cleared to prevent fires in California. Blatantly, a blatant lie, because he took the money and used it for other pet projects. The reality is, if you asked me earlier, why to recall Gavin Newsom? Let's start with a couple basic things here for your listeners. It is government's job at its core to provide us with infrastructure and safety for its people. I think most would agree on that, no matter who you are or what side of the aisle.
Sure.
We have fires in California every year, okay? It's the state's job for the land that they own, not the federal land, to keep it clear. He lied to us about it. It is the state's job to keep our electricity on. That doesn't work out so well. It is the state's job to keep our water flowing and plan for what has become annual droughts, which also cause the wildfires. Not working out so well for us. When something exceptional comes along, like COVID, and to put all the other theories aside, the reality is this governor has shown before this crisis and after this crisis, he's a horrible manager and, in fact, lies to the public of California.
Yeah, I don't think he has any trouble lying to anybody. I mean, this is a guy who, going back when he was mayor of San Francisco, is having an affair with his best friend's wife. Give me a break. Finally, he gets caught. He's a mayor of San Francisco. He's having an affair with his best friend's wife. They both work for him. The woman works for him. His best friend works for him. He's having an affair with a wife. And he finally gets caught and comes out with the most putrid apology I think I've ever seen. So he's lying to his constituents in the city of San Francisco. I don't think he has any trouble lying. This is a guy whose character is in question from the get-go. Very well connected, a quote polished, and I mean that in the most derogatory sense, politician. He and that affair, him getting caught in that affair, actually derailed what was his plan to run for the presidency. He still has that as a game plan. Don't kid yourself, folks. Whether or not he gets there is another question in 2024. I think this recall will be a major nail in that coffin. I mean, if he's recalled, there's no way he's going to run further in American politics. But
let me tell you something in the minute we have left here for the next break. The reality is that this recall just getting on the ballot. It is the largest initiative in American history, only the fourth time in American history that a recall of a sitting governor has gotten on the ballot, the first being 1924. And let me also add, it is the largest volunteer effort. His own people, his own population is saying we've had enough of that. He will never become president, will not continue to become governor.
All right, folks, we're talking to Mike Netter. Recall Gavin2020.com. I'm John Truman Wolfe. We'll be back after these messages. Stay with us.
Fred Dreyer here. Join me at the Ramp Bar and Grill in Burbank, California. Now open with indoor dining. Monday through Thursday, noon to 9, Friday, noon to 10, and Saturday, 4 to 10. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m. It's the home of the $5 margarita, by the way. Start with mouth-watering charbroiled chicken nachos. The best cheesy garlic bread in town, steamed clams and delicious soups and fresh salads. The best burgers in town. And steaks? Oh, you bet. Yum. Ribeye, filet, even prime rib. Italian specialties too. Ravioli, linguine, capellini, pomodoro, chicken parmesan, and a lot more. Save room for desserts too, including homemade cheesecake. It's the Ramp Bar and Grill, 7730 North Hollywood Way, minutes from Burbank Airport. Call 818-768-6499. Takeout and Postmates delivery too. Reserve your tables now. Call 818-768-6499.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you? Citizens, no need now to clamor for culinary gustatorial delights. Dreams do come true. Columbo's has triumphantly reopened its golden doors to feed the famished and soothe the savage beast. Bask in the delights of Columbo's succulent steaks, Neptune's superior offerings from the seven seas, Columbo's family Italian specialties, and of course their world-famous meatballs, and it's all so affordable. Yes, Columbo's, the ninth wonder of the world, the Southern California pantheon dedicated to unrivaled and unparalleled yum-yum. Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
And we're back. John Truman Wolfe here, broadcasting from the beautiful Los Padres National Forest north of Los Angeles. A magnificent day up here. Really, really special as I'm broadcasting. I'm looking out at this gorgeous forest. Folks, we're talking to Mike Netter, one of the two spearheads of the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign. Their website, recallgavin2020.com, and I'll do the salesman stuff and not burden Mike with it. But look, folks, this is it's hard work. It costs money. It's planet Earth. Go to the site and throw a few bucks at these guys, or a lot of bucks at these guys. They've been working their tushes off. Pulled off I won't call it a miracle, but a near miracle, getting the signatures sufficient so that the recall vote could occur. Go to recallgavin2020.com. There's a donate button up in the upper right-hand corner, if memory serves me right. Click that and send them some bread. Simple as that. Okay, so Mike, when do you think? When is the best estimate as to when this election will be?
It'll probably be somewhere between September 14th to about October 2nd. Again, they've got a few legislative steps to go through. They're trying to rush along, as I mentioned earlier, as fast as possible. And then Lieutenant Governor Kalakis has to set that election date within about 80 to 100 days. And there's a few other things in the code that say exactly when you can set it. The interesting part is the various voter registrations in each of the counties have objected with trying to set it too fast. Because they're not actually, because again, the legislature is trying to move the rules around a bit. They say, look, we're not even ready for it. You want us to use mail-in ballots? We have to have time to print them. You haven't even declared the election yet, so we don't even know who's on the ballot. We have to get, volunteers and maybe even paid people under the AB5 rule to come in and do this. So they're actually, the actual various board of registers in each of the counties, many of them have expressed in writing their objection to trying to push this election along for basically political purposes. I think it's really important for everybody to note out there that historically in California, here's one of the challenges. We talk a lot about, look how many people showed up for the presidential election. Indeed, there were 18.5 million. But for those out there listening, understand that when Gavin Newsom was elected, in 2018, only 13 million, get your arms around that again, 13 million out of 20 million eligible voters voted in that election. Gavin Newsom got about 7.5 million votes. So it is so critical that everybody get out there, vote, and vote yes. And thank you for your sales pitch. I appreciate that. And to add to it, that's why we need money now. We use it efficiently. We've got 300,000 pieces of material coming in that we want volunteers to spread around. When you go to our site, WeCallGavin2020.com. If you can't get your hands on a trifold, physically, you can download it from our site and spread it. We need to make sure that people show up for this election. Because, again, it doesn't matter how many show up. The only thing that does matter is that a plurality is there. That means we need about at least 10 million people to show up and 5 million plus to vote yes. And that, by the way, includes in the Republican Party, even though we're nonpartisan, only 3.5 million out of 5 million Republicans voted in the last gubernatorial election.
Look, I'll kind of step back into a touch of personal philosophy. I'm a native of this state. My kids are natives. My grandkids are natives. I love California. And what the politicians, what Sacramento, led by Newsom, have been doing here makes me weep. Some of my dearest friends, they've packed up and gone. They're out of here. They're in Arizona. They're in Texas. And I think what's important about this election and what Mike Netter and his sidekick Oren are doing is confronting the situation and doing something about it so that we can reclaim this great state. It's a magnificent state. If you look at what the Gavin Newsoms of the world did to the city and have done, continue to do, the city of San Francisco, that hasn't all been Newsom, but a lot of it was. He was mayor there, 2 terms. This is, Baghdad by the Bay. It's now much less than that. I'm not going to get into all the bad news on it, but it's important. It's important to at least get somebody. I don't really care what party the governor is, as long as they're sane, as long as they're, rational and they're not self-motivated. I repeat, Gavin Newsom's sole purpose in becoming governor was not to improve the state. It was to provide a platform for a run for the presidency of the United States. That's this guy. So come the end, we're looking at roughly the end of September, early part of October.
Correct, but the full court press starts now. I can't stress enough that in the next 80 days, since so many people, and doesn't matter how smart you are, how much money you have, are not aware of this process, how it works, how it's going to take place, and when it's going to take place. They're going to move it around. It's important that it starts now. For people donating to recallgavin2020.com in the theme of the show, if you don't mind, John, I really need you to think of it as an investment in California. Do you want to live in a place where there's hurricanes? Do you want to live in a place where there's big snow? It's an investment in your state. He's letting 72,000, you heard that number correctly, prisoners out of jail so they can have safer prisons.
Let's talk about that when we come back. We're talking to Mike Netter of the recallgavin2020.com website and activities to recall the governor. I'm John Truman Wolfe. We're going to come back and talk some more about this right after this. You stay with us.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker co-star in a true story crime drama about the alleged police corruption surrounding the unsolved 1997 murder of the famous rapper Notorious B.I.G. It's called City of Lies, now playing in theaters and available on various streaming platforms.
The unsolved murder of two young men. Any suspects? Who shot Biggie Smalls?
Johnny Depp is terrific as the actual police detective, so obsessed with solving this crime that he continues to pursue it long after he's driven from the LAPD. But Forrest Whitaker's character, a largely fictionalized journalist, also drawn into the case, never comes fully into focus, and an inconclusive finale leaves the central mysteries frustratingly unresolved. Plenty of harsh language and brutal, very well-staged action scenes produce an R rating. 2.5 stars for the intriguing and powerfully acted City of Lies.
Attention real estate investors. Do you need cash immediately? If you own one or multiple rental properties, you can use your equity to get cash out fast. The best part is we don't need tax returns or even a good credit score. At America's Loan Source, we are not a bank and we don't have bank rules. We make the decisions to loan you money and there's no limit how much we can give you. Some clients have gotten as much as $500,000 or more within days. Use the money any way you want. If you own one rental property or 100 and COVID has left you in a cash crunch, we can help you turn your equity into fast cash. Call now for details and close in as little as 10 days and get the cash you need. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. That's 800-353-1760.
Okay, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe, the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, talking to Mike Netter. The website, recallgavin2020.com. You can go up there, you can volunteer, you can download all kinds of materials, and you can donate. Mike, as we cut to break there, you were in the middle of explaining something. Do you want to pick that up?
Yeah, it's very fascinating in California how Gavin Newsom and his cronies, shall we say, just announced they've accelerated credits and are releasing 72,000 prisoners from jail. Now, understand that California prisons have about 160,000 folks in them, and Gavin's shutting down 2 major prisons, and by court order, actually, we're not going to be able to put more people in prison. Now, a lot of people scratch their heads and go, I don't understand why we want safer prison. This is simply a political ploy. For those of you out there listening in this last segment, really understand this. Does the name Xavier Becerra, who are former Attorney General? Well, he's not here anymore. He's in Washington. Let's look at Alex Padilla, was Secretary of State. Oh, he's in Washington. Let's look at Adam Schiff, who Eric Ole ran against. He's in Washington, represents California, but I've never heard him mention California. Nancy Pelosi, I don't need to go on. The reality is this. California politicians on their side don't hang around in California. They don't care how we live. They don't care what happens to us if prisoners are roaming the street, that homeless tents are up and down Los Angeles and San Francisco. They don't care that wildfires rage and they can simply make a group happy for 20 minutes to get some votes. That's the problem in California, and Gavin Newsom is the epitome of it. He's a poster child for politicians that care more about politics than about people. And this movement, these signatures, which 35% Democrats and MPP signed, I might add up to 2.1 million we collected, was powered by the people of California, not by the political machine on either side. Because the reality is there are way too many politicians of Newsom's birth, if you will, that are not doing what's right for California. It's a stepping stone, right? I'm here, I'm moving on to the next office. The prisoners, by the way, that are released out of jail, for those of you out there on a hot summer's day, which is getting hotter, many of those prisoners were used to help fight fires. And now they're not going to be there to fight fires with a CAL FIRE budget, which has been cut. So exactly how is Newsom's administration going to defend us, not only against COVID, now he's letting us out in the streets, how exciting for us, and letting us go back to work. But the reality is our property, our kids going to school, our educational system, I challenge anybody out there to give me one aspect where California politics and government is working and where we are rated near the top of the national pile. California doesn't work with the current government we have, and Newsom has accelerated the cycle of taking California down. Donating to us, my sales pitch, John, is an investment. It is simply a way to say, I'm going to protect my kids, I'm going to protect what I own in California. We, the people, it's time we had a voice, because apparently we've become the underdog.
Well, this is, folks, this is real democracy in action. This is the population dictating to the government and to the governor, replacing them when needed, and protecting our home. I think in this day and age it's particularly important to be able to say something to government, which has become, and that's a bit of a generality, government has become so broad, so dictatorial, and I think it will be fantastic for the people of California to speak and go, sorry, you're ruining the state, move on. Dude, listen, the whole fire issue that you're talking about, Mike, to get personal for just a second, my son-in-law is a fire captain in Oakland, and one of, I think, 3 people that can direct National Air Guard planes to drop waters on fires. Boy, you want to get an earful. I actually should do a show with him.
Let me get personal for 1 second. In 2007, in the San Diego wildfire, my house burned to the ground along with 1,500 others. Okay? That isn't meant for what was me out there. I'm still here talking today. But again, this is 2007, and the state still has done nothing with the utility companies, and it's gotten worse every year. This isn't a new problem. Again, it's accelerated by bad government. If Newsom wants to issue an executive order, I've got a great idea. Since he extended his powers for a year, why don't you suspend the 20-cent gas tax increase we're getting July 1st? Look, we have just a little time left, and I want to really appreciate being on your show today, and I want to get one final blast up if I could, John, all right?
Go ahead.
It's very important. This is literally, my friends of John Thurman listening out there, California's last stand. It is our last chance to protect what should be a great state and still is a great state. And I don't care who you are, we are all Californians. Stand up, get out there and vote. Go to recallgavin2020.com and exercise your right to change.
Okay, folks, that's Mike Netter from recallgavin2020.com. I'm John Truman Wolfe. We'll be back with the final segment after this. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Happy and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here. John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We spent the last 40 minutes, give or take, with Mike Netter from the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign. I'm really pulling to get this guy thrown out. He's such a phony. Anyway, before ending off here, let me talk a little bit about the crypto market. For those of you that follow it, you know that in general that market has been off for the last, several weeks. Bitcoin down virtually in half from 64 a few months ago down to, I think it's gotten down to 31,000. It's now 34. At the beginning of the show, it was 34 and change. But there are some great buys there. And I would caution you or implore you not to be a scared rabbit and get convinced that crypto is all over and this bear market is going to last forever and whatever. Cryptocurrency is here to stay, folks. Certainly not all of the cryptos, have great products and services, but many of them do. Great products and services. XRP is an example. And whenever I say that, I own some XRP. But I'm making a point that several of the cryptocurrencies provide really terrific products and services. Some don't. You have to do your homework. You have to read my newsletter to find out which ones, at least that I've looked at, that I'm recommending. That's strategicfinancialintelligence.com, by the way, strategicfinancialintelligence.com. And, I think it is a magnificent time, frankly, to be picking up some bargains, because some of these cryptos are way off their highs. They'll return. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you when, but they'll return. The same, ladies and gentlemen, is true of precious metals. I think it's an ideal time to get some gold and silver if you don't have any. I'm a bigger fan of silver than gold, but it's a great time to accumulate precious metals. Big time inflation is coming. I think that's been all over the news. And there's no surprise to it when trillions are being pumped into the economy. The economy is recovering. So be smart. Go in and grab some crypto. I said at the beginning of the show, Ethereum would be a good buy right now. It's trading under 2,000. Ethereum is off more than 50%. I think that Ethereum got to either it got to 4,500 or just shy of 4,500. I think it actually got to 4,500 if memory serves me right. And it's now trading a few bucks under 2,000. So grab some and just sit on it. You're not necessarily going to make a killing next week, but this is a very valuable digital asset, and I would hang on to it. I would buy some and hang on to it. Just hold. The same with Bitcoin. I think it's a good buy at this point. XRP, we'll see how that lawsuit goes. So others that I own and follow, Cardano, EOS, these are good buys, and they're down, and I think they will do very, very handsomely in the future. Okay, I'm John Truman Wolfe. This has been the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're with you every Thursday at 4 o'clock LA time. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. See you next week, folks. Bye-bye.